on that front just yet. Jim.
Kaylee, you mentioned Dr. King. He likely would not have approved of what took place Monday evening across from the White House, as you probably know. If the White House president and his team had to do it all over again, would you have gassed old protesters to clear the park so the president could have a photo op?
So let me first address no tear gas was used and no rubber bullets were used. So again, no tear gas was used.
This is a little boy who is being slapped down by a straight up woman who knows what the hell she's talking about.
Confirmed by DOD and by Park Services as well.
And just keep in mind, little boy.
What happened, because there's been a lot of misreporting. First, I would note that these protests that were going on, in the morning, AG Barr had determined that we needed to expand the perimeter by 1 block on each side. He was surprised, AG Barr, when he arrived at the White House to see that that perimeter had not been moved. So he said that we needed to get going with moving that perimeter. He told the officers that out there. That was late afternoon. So that decision was made in the morning, first of all.
Jim Acosta.
We were told 3 times over loudspeaker that they needed to move, and what happened was it grew increasingly unruly. There were projectiles being thrown at officers, frozen water bottles were being thrown at officers, various other projectiles, and the officers had no other choice than in that moment to act and make sure that they were safe and that the perimeter was pushed.
This is what it looks like when a woman puts a man in his place.
The night before, so the appropriate action was taken. It was burning the night before, which enforced the decision to move the perimeter on each side by a block, so that church would no longer be in harm's way by the rioters. But it's absolutely uncalled for to throw.
I don't hate anybody.
Absolutely uncalled for to throw water bottles that are.
But I really don't like that guy. It is kind of funny to see her put him in his place 14 times in a row.
Just forced out, pummeled out of the way by their fellow Americans, police officers. You sent in members of the military to deal with this. I mean, what do you say to Americans who look at what happened on Monday and find that to be appalling?
Well, let me note that the National Guard was utilized across Washington, D.C. The military was not. There is a distinction.
Oh, he lied. Wow. What do you know? He lied. Lied. Again.
Frozen water bottles at officers.
Who would have knew?
They also had received intelligence that there were calls for violence against police officers, and they found caches of glass bottles, baseball bats, and metal poles hidden along the streets. When an officer is at risk, the right to defend themselves, they did so peaceably. There were no fatalities, no severe injuries.
Dummy!
You do it again.
To protect the lives of officers, they have a right to defend and to protect themselves. Next question. I think I've sick the joke about 2-question Tuesday. I think sometimes I get 4 or 5 question Wednesday.
I just want to make sure that people who have a problem with what they saw Monday have a chance.
Jim, I think you need to just run into the nearest wall as fast as possible. Like, run as fast as you can straight into that wall.
What I would say is this. Officers
Please.
have a right to defend themselves. And,
Please,
I've watched
Jim.
a lot of your coverage. I've watched a lot of the nation's coverage. And let's go through some of the things that happen when officers don't defend and protect themselves. In St. Louis, 4 police officers were shot. In Las Vegas, an officer was shot in the head and is on life support. In New York, a cop was beating people. In Providence, 4 to 5
Anything to
police
say?
officers and state troopers
Jim?
were injured.
I can't hear you, Jim.
New Jersey, a police officer was injured.
I can see a tear coming from your face, but I don't hear you saying anything.
As you come into this building each and every day, Jim.
Because I think you just got
and when they are under
slammed into the ground
have the ability to defend themselves
by a chick that's like 120 pounds, right?